This is the Louie T Network.
Man, I love some football. Man, I love some football. My favorite week is week 1, cause I'm watching football. First comes the preseason, and I don't take a day off. And then it gets even better when your team makes the playoffs. 32 teams go hard for one thing. They work for one thing. That Super Bowl ring. 32 teams go hard for one thing. They work for one thing. That Super Bowl ring. We in the lab room.
Who else could it be but me, your man, Louie T? Welcome to the program. You are in the lab room and I am your host, of course, Louie T. Thank you for joining me here on the program. Carolina Panthers hosting the Detroit Lions in a game that was extremely physical. Let's get physical, physical. It was more physical than I thought. You know what? Sometimes I forget that the Detroit Lions are physical because they score points offensively and they have Evans, the Megatron, and Matthew Stafford, and now they added Golden Tate. They got Reginald Bush, Joy Bell. Because they got all these weapons, I sometimes forget that this is a physical football team. We know the Panthers will come straight up in your face and punch you right in your mouth. We know they're physical, so that's not really a question. The Panthers are physical. I sometimes forget about the Lions and their physicality. So this game is a little bit more physical than I thought. Let's talk about how the Panthers were able to be more physical than the Detroit Lions in their home opener. So you look at the start of this game, I thought that the Lions dominated the first quarter. Despite a very solid opening drive, the Lions come away with no points because of a missed field goal by Nate Freeze. And you know my 2 golden rules. And for those of you who don't, it's really simple. When you're on the road, there's 2 golden rules that you must follow, not to necessarily win, but to have a chance to win. Nothing is guaranteed in the National Football League. But to have a chance to win, you got to do these 2 things. These are the golden rules on the road. You ready? Number 1. You have to protect the football. You can't turn it over on the road. You can't do it. And number 2, you got to take advantage of every single opportunity that comes your way on the road. Got to take advantage of opportunities. And the Lions, right off the bat, first possession, get an opportunity to put 3 points on the scoreboard and fail to do so. That is a recipe for disaster in this league, especially when you're playing against a really stingy team like the Panthers. The Panthers are so stingy. You're like, hey, Carolina, y'all gonna use that field goal? Can I have it? They're like, no, you can't have it. Hey, you're not gonna use it. Why can't I have it? They're one of those teams, they're stingy for no reason. So if you get an opportunity to knock home a field goal, you better take it. Lions simply did not learn their lesson, so they had to learn the hard way. It's still nothing. After a great Evans, the Megatron sideline production where he gets both feet down on a beautiful catch, Joy Bell decides he wants to put the football on the carpet. How dare you, Joy? How dare you? And to me, he just had a rough game, did Joy Bell. He fumbled multiple times in this game, and this one, he wasn't able to get back. He fumbles later on in the game, they're able to get that one back. But this time, give me them cookies. Yum, yum, eat them up. Yum, yum, eat them up. Give me them cookies. Joy Bell puts it on the floor. In scoring position, no points for you, Detroit. And so, even though you dominated the first quarter, you have nothing to show for it. We move on to the second quarter. Glover Quinn drops an interception and eventually leads to a Graham Gano field goal. First points of the game for either team. It's 3-0 Carolina in this game. What did I just talk about? Taking advantage of opportunities. You don't do that on the road, you don't win on the road. Carolina able to get a field goal after averting some disaster on a potential interception. Calvin Johnson drops a touchdown in the end zone, ultimately leads to another missed field goal by Nate Freese. It's still 3-0, which gives the Panthers great field position after the miss from 49 yards out. And they end up getting a field goal of their own from Graham Gano. And Graham Gano has been money for this team since they got him. 53 yards, no problem. It's 6-0 Panthers. So you see how the tide can turn when you don't take advantage of opportunities? Calvin Johnson, beautiful throw from Matthew Stafford, right in the breadbasket. He's sliding in the end zone, doesn't hold on to the football. And because of that, your field goal kicker, who's already a little shaky because he missed already, goes out and misses again. Panthers get great field position, turning into 3 more points. It's 6-0. That's the type of football that will see you lose on the road, especially against a team like Carolina, who it doesn't take much. You don't score points against this team often. Teams around the league find it very hard. I told you they're very, I like to call them frugal, not stingy. Stingy is so derogatory. They're very frugal. You don't get a lot of points on these guys. You don't know what that means, go look it up. But they're very frugal, okay? Use the context clues. So you had opportunities to score 3 times in this game and you failed to do so. I don't know what to tell you. If you don't put points up on the board when you get opportunities against a defense like this, you're asking to lose the football game. So we move on to halftime at 6-0 Carolina with the lead. And keep in mind, Cam Newton has not played well to this point. Still kind of rusty, shaking off the cobwebs from that injury. We know about the whole offseason surgery. So you couple that with the rib injury, and he hasn't had a lot of time to get acclimated with these receivers and kind of work his way back to football playing shape. So you expected a little bit of ring rust, but you knew it was only a matter of time before, look up in the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane, nope, it's number 1, and Cam is his name, Super Cam, before he showed up and showed out. And so you had your chance, now it's his turn. You move to the second half. Lions open up the second half with an 8-play, 63-yard, 4-minute drive that's capped off by a 4-yard Jeb Collins touchdown reception. They take the lead at 7-6. Who knew? Maybe I knew. Maybe you knew. Who knew that'd be the last time the Detroit Lions would see the scoreboard in this game? Excellent drive by the Panthers offense as Cam starts to move the ball through the air, finds Jason Avant for a 14-yard dart. Does anybody in the league throw the football harder than Cam Newton? When I see guys catch the football, I'm like, man, that looked like that hurt. When Jason Avant caught that slant, that post right at the goal line, he had to catch that to protect himself. That looked like it hurt. That looked like, oh, just take the wind right out of you. Touchdown, Panthers. They take the lead back 13-6 in this game. That's the end of the third quarter. We move into the fourth quarter. Still a relatively close ball game, but not for long. Lions squander great field position as they started the 48-yard line right around midfield. And that's the perfect time to take a shot. Lions do exactly that, except Matthew Stafford threw into double coverage. That's a no-no. Even if you're throwing the Mugatron, you got to make sure if you're going to throw it to him in double coverage that it's up high where nobody else can get it but Calvin. That ball was thrown right where everyone had a chance. It's deflected and picked off on the play by the Panthers. They get a great return on the interception and get some solid field position of their own. Panthers use that interception to propel them into a touchdown. Calvin Benjamin with a ridiculous, nasty circus one-hand grab on the sideline. Now, he was relatively quiet in this game, even had a drop. I already told Panthers fans you're going to get that from him from time to time. You're going to get an outstanding game, 7 catches, 118 yards, 2 touchdowns, and then the next week you might get 2 catches like you did in this game. But 46 yards isn't bad. That one-hand grab let everybody know, hey, I'm still here. and that was a beautiful catch, helps them get into the end zone as Jonathan Stewart has a grown man 2-yard touchdown run to extend the lead out to 19-6. Panthers go for 2. They convert on a Jericho Cotchery 2-yard reception. It's now 21-6. At that point, this game's over. Panthers don't give up 20 points. They just don't. Especially at home. You can forget about it. If you were going to win this game, you needed to score early on in the game when you had opportunities. You squandered them. You lose this game now. And just for good measure, Panthers forced a fumble on the ensuing kickoff. Jeremy Ross puts it on the carpet. Panthers recover, end up turning that into a Graham Gano field goal. His third of the game makes it 24-7. That will be your final score in this game as the Carolina Panthers dominate the Detroit Lions. Lions had opportunities. But again, if you don't take advantage of those opportunities and you want to turn the football over, Joyce Bell puts it on the ground. You got the Calvin Johnson drop in the end zone. Then you miss 2 field goals and Matthew Stafford throws a pick. You want to do all of those things on the road, not to mention Jeremy Ross putting it on the floor as well. You want to do all those things on the road against a team that's extremely frugal. You get a 24-7 shellacking and you get sent on your way. So big win for the Panthers, and that's all I needed right there. I just needed to see Cam back and able to sling the football around, and that's what he did in this game. Hey, sometimes I forget about Jonathan Stewart and why he's still on this team. I always ask, why is he still around? That 2-yard run, even though he didn't have a statistically good game, that 2-yard run was a grown man animal run for a touchdown. That reminds me very quickly of why this guy is still a Carolina Panther. Panthers get it done. They're 2-0. And you look around in the division, and guess who's at the top? It's the Panthers. Now, don't jump to too many conclusions. I see Panthers fans going all crazy and hysterical, really calling everybody out. Relax. Hey, this time last year, where were you when the standings were out? Hey, where were you at? You were probably at the bottom. Remember, you started the season off 1-2 last year before you went on that insane run. So keep in mind, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. But this is a big win for the Panthers. They out-physicaled a very physical Detroit Lions football team. And they kept that explosive offense that put up 35 a week ago. They only got 7 points in this game. So big game for the Panthers. A very disappointing showing by the Detroit Lions. You had ample opportunities in this game to make things happen, and you just failed to do so. That's disappointing if you are the Detroit Lions. Pick yourself up, dust yourself off. You're now 1-1 on the season. Panthers are now 2-0. That's going to do it for the breakdown of this game. Panthers get it done at home, and my man Big Q said, no wins in mi casa. So far, so good. Panthers get it done. So that's going to do it for this breakdown. I thank you for joining me. If it happens in the National Football League, whether big or small, we cover it all here in the lab room. Come back and join me as I've got plenty more games to break down in week number 2 in the National Football League. Come back and join me. I've got plenty more to break down. I will see you in a bit.